Genius Warehouse is out here today with content creators from around the world to put the new Adidas Ubersonic 5 to the test. This update takes all of your favorite things from previous Ubersonics and now is even more stable, more durable, and should be even more comfortable. Let's go put it to the test. First up is this classic conditioning drill for players to work on their speed and agility. In this drill, each player will run, pick up a ball, and bring it back to the middle of the baseline as fast as they can. This will not only push the players to be speedy, but will allow our team to test moving in multiple directions in these shoes, as well as work on turning around quickly to change directions.
So the Ubersonic in the spider drill, you slide a lot easier than you think you're going to. I'm not a huge hardcore slider, but you definitely could slide a little bit easier, but people were grabbing traction pretty easily as well.
I really like the blend of traction and give this shoe has. I felt like I had a lot of grip to get me hooked up and sprinting to the ball, and then some nice give to help me pivot. A little bit of a slider, not a huge slider, but I was able to just break loose a little bit when I was transitioning from side to side, and that just takes the pressure off my aging ankles and knees, which I always appreciate.
I love the level of traction. It's perfect for sliding. I could instantly trust the shoe, which is not something I've been able to do in like the past 5 pairs of tennis shoes I've worn.
Overall, I felt like it was a really speedy shoe. I felt low to the ground, and I felt like the shoe was really responsive because of the snug fit. So I really enjoy this shoe a lot. I think it's a nice upgrade from the previous generation.
6 up, mix up. This drill combines lateral movement with scrambling all around the court. Since tennis players are constantly moving side to side in point play, we start this drill with 3 balls on the baseline, alternating from forehand to backhand, back to the forehand, putting an emphasis on support and stability. After those first 3 balls, the drill opens up and the feeder can put the ball anywhere in the court, testing how these shoes will move during actual point play.
Ubersonic 5s are definitely kind of a beefed up version of what it used to be. Definitely more laterally stable. There's a sufficient amount of midsole cushioning underneath my feet. I usually crave a little bit more, but I'm definitely feeling very comfortable in this shoe, whether I'm on the ground or moving laterally.
I feel like this new Ubersonic is really like an explosive shoe. Like you can really slide with confidence and get into the shots. So I felt really stable and quite solid, but they're still like lighter than the previous generation.
Yeah, really good, super stable. I felt like I don't slide, but I was able to feel confident to slide if I wanted to and change direction quite easily.
I felt like I was low to the ground, so when I was moving side to side, I felt really connected to the court, and I liked when I was changing directions that the upper really held my foot in place, so I didn't feel like my foot was moving around within the shoe.
Last, let's play the On the Run game. This game puts our testers in a competitive space while allowing them to see how the shoes will perform when the point counts. The game starts with a singles point with 1 player on either end of the court at the baseline, then the rest of the team lines up behind the feeder at the net post. The first point is played and whoever loses the point rotates out to the end of the line and the next person comes in from the net post as the feeder starts the point with a lob that must bounce and the point begins. If you win the point, stay in and give yourself 1 point. This game is played to 11. Our squad will be able to feel how quickly they can get to the ball and will be able to test how reactive these shoes are in a live ball situation. Plus, they'll see how much comfort that Lightstrike midsole offers when moving in an aggressive way to win points.
You had to be super quick in this drill, so thankfully these shoes were up to the task and they allowed you to get set if you needed it and to get to an extra ball if you needed that. So yeah, great performance.
In this point play drill, you're going straight from an all-out sprint to having little tiny quick movements in order to get around the ball, and I feel like the Ubersonic performed really well in that. I felt like I was in control of all my little movements and steps, which I really liked.
In point play, I really liked them. I realized that they're actually really lightweight. I didn't feel as heavy moving around the court.
I felt really confident making quick movements on the court in this shoe. I like the blend of support, traction. The uppers were flexing and moving with my feet.
I felt like the stability allowed me to push off the court and explode really well, and the lightweight nature of the shoe allowed me to move quickly around the court to run down a lot of those balls.
Having put our squad through these 3 on-court situations, they've been able to test the Adidas Ubersonic 5 in terms of fit, feel, speed, traction, durability, support, and stability. Let's get their overall thoughts on these speedy shoes.
Pretty impressed so far with this Ubersonic 5. It's a little bit more rigid and stability support oriented than the Defiant Speed 2 that I'm wearing mostly, but I like that. I feel very locked in the heel, good blend of traction and give, so yeah, 2 thumbs up for me so far.
The Ubersonic 5 is great. I think it's a little bit stiff at first, but you get it gets more molded to your feet as you play, and it almost reminds me of a mix between the old Ubersonic and the Barricade, which I really like.
Honestly, it feels kind of like a different shoe. It feels like a different line of shoe just because got rid of the slipper tongue. The uppers are a little bit more malleable, and I think that the biggest thing is they're calling it a speed frame, with the shank that goes in from the center of the shoe up to the medial lateral stabilizer, as well as hooks around the heel counter to create an external heel counter. Just gives you a little bit more feelings of support, especially in the rear foot.
So in the third drill, I actually tore the laces on the Ubersonic on the medial side. The outsole is fine, but the uppers could use a little more reinforcement.
I really love this shoe, actually. I'm not a huge fan of Adidas shoes normally, but this one felt really straight at home from the get-go. Good comfort, no breaking for me, and I felt really like stable and secure in these shoes.
Overall, I really like the new Ubersonic 5. It's a shoe that I would definitely consider switching to. It's very comfortable, very fast, very stable, and definitely an improvement on the previous generation of the Ubersonic.
These guys did amazing today. That is a wrap from us on the Adidas Ubersonic 5 speed test. For more information about these shoes, please visit us at Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.